All right, one thing that we notice every single time we go into a company is the enthusiasm and how productive the sales meetings are on a day-to-day basis is a very good telltale sign on how they're actually going to progress as a department, or a sign for imminent problems that are going to come up and going to explode at some point, okay? Meetings every single day with the same team, going over the same things, and consistently doing the same thing is just flat out boring. It's hard to run for the managers because, again, it's boring, and I promise you it's even more boring for the team that you're having show up every single day to these meetings. So if you have any question around how productive or how much of an ROI, yes, ROI you're getting out of your actual sales department meetings, then this video is 100% for you. I'm going to show you exactly the meeting cadence that we ran. It's very easy to copy. It's very exciting, and it'll make it so that every single day you or your team or both of you guys show up to these meetings, you're excited, and when you leave, you're even more so excited to actually take on the day and get going, okay? And this will guarantee that you always leave every meeting with time well spent instead of feeling like you wasted your morning or you wasted your team's time. So with that being said, we're going to jump straight into a doc. I'm going to show you step-by-step how to set this up, how each meeting cadence varies, how we build in incentives, how we do our goal setup, how we do our goal closeout on a week-to-week basis, and hopefully this is what allows you to get out of running these meetings because your team can now step into them. So with that being said, I will see you in the computer. All right, let me go ahead and blow this up a little bit for you guys. There we go. So like I said, right, whenever we come into a company, we're always looking at how the sales team meetings, hopefully you're running them daily, how the tone is, how the culture of it is, how people show up, are cameras off, are people excited, are people leaving better each day, or is it a complete waste of time? We also really look for how well the managers are setting up the actual cadence, okay? One of the biggest challenges most companies face after successfully launching their sales teams is running productive, repeatable, and exciting meetings with their sales team. Okay? Very simple. Like I said in the intro, running the same meeting over and over and over again is boring for you, and I can almost guarantee you it is more boring for your team. So how do we actually set up and run our sales team meetings? Okay? So the first thing I want to touch on is our actual agenda. So Mondays, we have our weekly kickoff. Tuesday, we role play. Wednesday, we do strategy training. Thursday, role play. Friday, weekly wrap up. Okay. And then depending on if it's the last Friday of the month, we have a few different adjustments that we make. Now, we do our role play very differently. We do our strategy training very differently. And my goal for this video is that you take either one of these days or you take the whole structure and you implement just bits and pieces of it. Okay. And you build into having a meeting cadence that is as good or even better than the one that I am going to show you, okay? So we run these meetings every single morning. Our weekly kickoff, the goal of this meeting, very easy, is to set the goal for the week, okay? So during this meeting, it's important that you and your department head or lead set the tone for the week. During this meeting, you're going to go over the goals for the week, the exact numbers. If you have setters, closers, you're going to set a goal for the setting team. How many sets do we want, right? For the closing team, how much revenue do we want to produce, right? Or cash collected, right? Bookings, whatever the case might be, okay? Now you're going to review how far or close you are to the monthly goal, okay? Every Monday, right? So you can set a tone for this, okay? You're going to give any updates, right? So any changes, any opportunities ahead, anything that is coming into play so that you can obviously get everything that you need to the team during this Monday meeting, all right? You're going to hype everyone off or hype everybody up, and then you're going to send them off, okay? Monday is goal. How far are we from our bigger goal, right? And do we have any updates, any adjustments, any opportunities that lay ahead? Okay, very simple. You, the founder or the sales director, are running Monday and Friday meetings, okay? Now, weekly wrap up, okay? This is very important, all right? This is probably the most important week. And if you set this in and you don't hold people to it, you might as well not even do it because it's going to produce more harm than it will benefit, okay? Meaning, if you set this structure up, you roll it out, get everybody excited about it, and then you don't follow through, just don't even bother, okay? You have to set this in and you need to make sure that you're consistent with it, okay? So weekly wrap up. During this meeting, it is important that you or your department head review and hold the teams accountable to the results. Okay, this meeting is meant for celebration, reflection, and accountability. Sometimes, stern accountability if we're really not hitting our goals. So, did we meet the goal of the week? Yes or no, right? If yes, we always had something for our teams, right? Most of our people worked Monday through Friday, right? And what we wanted to try and do is figure out how to incentivize people to work through the weekend, okay? So if we met our goal, okay, so let's say our goal was 250,000, right? We did 275. Okay, so we met our goal. So we're gonna review the numbers, look at it, right? What exactly did we accomplish as a team, right? We're gonna check that out. Go over the top performers, okay? So you always wanna give a recognition here. So top setter, top closer, right? If you have pod structures, top pod, okay? And you're going to essentially go over these numbers per pod, per team, check out kind of who did the most, who did the least, etc. You're just going to bring all of this up. If you're on HubSpot, we always have all of this reporting and basically structure set up directly inside of our dashboards. Okay. Now, if we met our goal, we're going to spin the wheel. Okay. I'm going to put a video around here. This is the most exciting part of the week.
Corn. What you got? Oh! There's the goal. Oh my God! Oh my God! Are you kidding me?
For our wheel spin, okay, if I go down here, it'll explain, right? For our wheel spin, if we met our goal on Fridays, there was always some kind of bonus that went from that Friday to the following Monday, okay? Or it was a bonus for the day. So for example, it's a 2.5% commission increase from Friday to Monday next week, okay? Or it's the next 10 closes that happen between now and Monday, or now and a certain time next week, get an additional $500, right? The next set that closes gets X, right? This is basically something that they work for every single week. So they need to be good prizes, good incentives, right? But it's basically, we met our goal. You guys are working hard, right? Finish out the week over the weekend, right? Or until next week on this time, and you're going to get an incentive with it. Okay. And we always made these different. Sometimes if we were in office, right, we'd have, Coronas in the office, or we'd bring in beers for the end of the day. Sometimes we would actually go out, bring everybody out to dinner. There was a lot of different prizes and incentives that we would actually give. And I'll go over a few different examples, but we got 2 times multiplier, spin again. If it landed on 2 times multiplier, whatever bonus it landed on next, they'd get 2x, right? So $500 bonus for any closes that happen today through Sunday, right? Commission increase, 1% until Monday, $250 bonus, whatever, commission increase. So there's all these different incentives that they can land on. And we always spun this wheel if they met goal, right? So showing up and not hitting goal and going into why we did not accomplish our goal was a much worse end of the day or beginning of the day for Friday. And no one obviously liked showing up on Friday without the goals being met. All right. Now, going back up to our cadence here, right? Our actual role plays. So what we were doing for our Tuesdays and Thursdays, and some of you guys, if you have a smaller team, just do Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for the role play. If I go down to the role play, the way that we did it is we jump in, right? We're doing this 2 to 3 times a week, right? The very beginning of the meeting, we're spinning the wheel, okay? And on the wheel, we have all of our different role plays, right? So for us, we had heads up, 1v1, we had speedball, we had war, we had executive takeover, speedball again, right? Call review, heads up, right? So we spin this wheel so no one knows what kind of role play we're going to get into. It keeps people on their toes, and it also makes it just way more exciting, okay? So if we're looking at the role play types, the way that we run this is speedball, for example, would be if you and I watching this, we're in a round of speedball with 10 other people, let's say, right? The sales lead or the director of sales or whoever would basically pick a topic, right? So it could be objections, it could be company history, it could be product knowledge, it could be, a whole list of different things. And if I said today's objections, right, then I point to you or I call you out and I say, yeah, this price is just a little bit higher than I thought it would be. It's probably going to take maybe a month or 2 for us to actually get the budget to be able to do this, but we definitely need it, right? You have 2 to 3 seconds to respond, and whoever the leader of that day is will either give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If you give the thumbs up, you're going to go to the next person, give them an ejection, and you're going to go until somebody messes up. Once somebody messes up, they're taken out of the rotation, and whoever's left, usually it ends with people just going back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. Whoever wins, we always gave some kind of prize to, right? $250, $500, whatever the case may be. But it was always really competitive and exciting, right? War was, for example, for this company in specific, we were a SaaS company. So we always had calls where there was 2 people giving objections and obviously the lone closer handling objections from 2 different people. So we'd basically have them do a 1v2 role play, right? The 2 people would make it as hard as they can for the individual, asking tons of questions, going back and forth. And you'd go and basically set a timer for 5 to 10 minutes, let them role play, decide the winner at the end. We have executive takeover, which is whoever the executive is running the meeting, right? They would be the actual closer or they would be the prospect, depending on how you guys want to do it. We have call review. This is probably my favorite role play that we ran. If it lands on the call review wheel spin, right? The way that we did it is every single person on our team was required to have 2 to 3 calls that they could pull up at any moment to review. And what we would do is we take the first 15 minutes of that call or the last 15 minutes of that call, and we would review it in front of everybody. So they would pull it up on their screen, hit play, right? Everyone would take notes, etc. And at the end, right, we'd go around the horn to figure out what they did really well, what they didn't do very well. And sometimes this was quite embarrassing, but a lot of the times we got really good people to show their calls, and it helps the team really, really well hear the tonality, hear the different questions that people are asking. It allows the setters to hear some of what the closers are dealing with, the closers to hear what some of the setters are dealing with. And overall, it's just very, very productive. And then we have obviously heads up, right? 1v1. If you have breakout rooms on Zoom, you break everybody out, right? The sales director, whoever the sales manager is jumping in and out to listen to these 1v1s. Or you do a one-on-one role play in front of everybody and you rotate, obviously, depending on who wins, okay? So fun, enjoyable, completely unpredictable on what's going to happen for the day, and it keeps everybody on their toes, and it just works. For the wheel spin, you guys can literally just go to, I think it's, pickerwheel.com, and you can save your wheels. If it lands on call review, or if you guys have a larger team and you want to be able to do the role plays and the selection of who's going against who really quickly, you can add all of your team members to another wheel that you can spin to select who is obviously going to be up for the role play or for the call review or for whatever the case may be. Okay. Now, if you have a little bit of a bigger team, the way that we ran our Wednesday strategy trainings is depending on whoever was the top setter or the top closer for the week previously, okay, they would be tasked with coming up with a specific training for Wednesday. Okay, so our top setter would give a training. Anything that they want to do, it has to be approved by the actual sales manager or whatever the case may be first, but they go in and give a training. Okay, so this is their time to produce some kind of either deck or some kind of script or some kind of strategy, follow up, whatever the case may be, and break it down and train the rest of the team on how they're doing what they're doing. And it allows us to give our top people, some shine, right? So some recognition for being the top, but also allows them to train everybody else on what they're doing that's making them so successful, okay? And this is extremely productive because it allows you to start to build leaders, it allows you to give recognition, and also it takes you out of the training and allows the front line individuals to pull back what they're actually taking from the front line and go over it with the rest of the team, okay? So very, very strong cadence. Again, recap really, really quickly. Right? If we go down to our cadence one more time, right? Monday, we're setting a goal specifically for setters, setting a goal specifically for closers, and then usually we've got a revenue target that breaks up to our monthly target, okay? You're going over this every Monday. You're going over our goal for the week that allows us to hit our goal at the end of the month, and you're reviewing where we're at with the month goal, okay? You're also going over any updates, any opportunities, doing any recognition, any shout outs, etc., okay? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you can either spin the wheel for role play, or you can do Tuesday, Thursday role play, with Wednesday specifically being a strategy training from your top producer from the last week, okay? Friday, we're going to do a weekly wrap up. Again, if we met goal, right, we're going to spin that wheel. We're going to get everybody hyped up. We're going to go over recognition, talk about who's the top producers, etc. And we're going to give them incentive for whatever that lands on, okay? If we don't meet goal, we are going to typically have the setters break out with the setter lead or the closers break out with the closer lead, and we're going to have them basically come back with what and why they were not able to meet goal, right? What they need to adjust going into the next week, and really try and hold everybody accountable to why we did not meet that goal. Okay. And yeah, it's very, very straightforward, but it allows everybody to stay on their toes. It allows the manager to not have to think about what they're actually going to be talking about every single day. And it creates a really, really dynamic structure that allows you to run really quickly, even if you have a much larger team. And it allows you to give a format so that you can start to pull yourself out of these meetings, right? Eventually, if you have a larger team, right, if you've got a decent sized structure, you can just do the Monday and Friday meetings. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday can typically be ran by your sales leads or a sales manager. And eventually you can pull yourself fully out when you actually have a full-time sales director or something along those lines. Okay. So with all that being said, this is one of the most successful structures we've ever ran. I'll pop up different videos to show you how actually awesome this is. And with all that being said, like I said at the beginning of this video, if you just take one thing from this and implement it, maybe it's the wheel spin for role play, maybe it's the incentives, perk Fridays, whatever the case might be, it will increase the culture and it will help you guys run a stronger and more effective meeting cadence. The whole goal of meeting with your team every morning is not, which most cases it is, just to see and make sure that they're actually starting on time and kicking off and doing all these things and you're holding them accountable. You also want to get production out of it, right? You want to see everybody progress day to day. You want to see people get excited. You want to see people doing things and trying things that they haven't done before. And you also want to create a structure that you can eventually hand off. Okay. So with that being said, the link for this doc will be below. Go ahead and click, make a copy, change it, do whatever you want with it. I've ran multiple teams through this cadence. It allows me to get up and out, focusing on higher leverage things very, very quickly without any kind of lack to quality or progress that I see with my team. Okay. So that being said, hope this helps and I'll see you in another video.